Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Lewis Speaks 2024, and today's video is on self-acceptance. Oftentimes we look out at the world and we ask that other people accept us and approve of us and want us. And the thing about it is this: when you constantly seek external validation and external approval, you put your happiness in the hands of other people, which means that there's a slight chance that they will mishandle your happiness if they're handling it at all. A lot of people do not handle the happiness of others very well. We see that all the time. There's a lot of people who are pathologically miserable and they cannot be happy for anybody because they struggle with feelings of low self-worth, insecurity, and low self-esteem. So you are constantly putting your happiness in the hands of other people who can't be happy for you. You got to stop doing that. You have to start accepting yourself. A lot of people, they have this begging energy that they exude. They're constantly begging the world to value them, to want them, to see them, to approve of them. They're begging, begging. I don't know about y'all, but have you ever been in the company of somebody who was so desperate and they exuded this spirit of desperation, so much so that it became off-putting? Like you literally felt sorry for them because they was just so desperate for everyone else's love. And the thing about it is this: when you are so desperate for another person's approval, another person's love, you make yourself a victim. You turn yourself into a victim. Because thing about it is this: no one likes somebody who is so desperate, because it suggests that the person doesn't have enough of something. It suggests that the person is deficient. Just think about society and how we tend to avoid people on the train or on the bus who are shaking their cup. We tend to avoid them because we see that, for one, they look like responsibility. They look like hardship. They look like desperation. And so you avoid people like that because you either you don't have the skill set to help them out, you don't have the funds to help them out, and they trigger your feelings of powerlessness, or B, you just are not comfortable with that energy. You're not comfortable, and the same applies to when we're out here panhandling for the validation of other people, when we're out here trying to gain the approval of other people. We're constantly turning ourselves into a victim. We're always putting ourselves at the mercy of everybody else, and then we're wondering why people are not drawn to us, why people are not gravitated to us, because we're putting out this begging energy. We're begging other people for their approval, for their likes, for their attention. Nah, you have to be self-assured. You have to know that you are everything. You have to know that you have every ingredient for happiness. You just have to be willing to unlock it and release that begging energy, that spirit of desperation. Because desperation, it implies deficiency. And when you operate from a spirit of abundance, when you operate from a spirit of gratitude, you don't have time for deficits. You don't have time for a scarcity mindset. A lot of people are operating from a scarcity mindset. There's just not enough to go around. There's just not enough resources, so they have to clamor and beg other people for their approval. No. When you are abundantly blessed and you walk in a spirit of abundance, you don't have to walk, or matter of fact, you don't have to work for the approval of other people. I'll say that again. When you walk in the spirit of abundance, you don't have to work for the approval of other people. You already have your own approval. You already have God's approval. You're already working on yourself and investing in yourself, so you don't need other people to invest in you and approve of you. And the beautiful thing about maturing and getting older is that you begin not to care so much. You don't care about other people and what they think, because you realize, for one, these people do not feed you. They do not love on you. They don't finance you. They don't do anything for you when the chips are down. You cannot depend on these people for love, support at all. So you care so much about these people because, and another reason why getting old is beautiful is that you just stop caring about the opinions of others because you realize that a lot of people are projecting their own issues onto other people. They're projecting their own sadness, their own misery, their own feelings of insecurity. And a lot of what people do is simply a projection of their own issues, their own insecurities. And so you don't take it personally. You begin to operate from an abundant mindset. You realize that I have every ingredient for my own happiness. I have every ability to make myself feel full and complete. I can make myself feel full. I don't have to go out here and ask and panhandle for love, for fullness, for completion. I don't have to ask another person for completion because I complete me. My Heavenly Father completes me. And when you operate from that mindset, you feel good. You feel free. Oh, it's a burden lifted off your shoulders because you no longer have to worry about other people and their approval. And sometimes, truth be told, there's a tendency to backslide. When you are so used to people pleasing, when you are so used to trying to make everybody happy, when you have struggled with codependency, there's a tendency to make people pleasing and approval seeking your default. You'll make it your default because you're so used to doing that. Codependency tells you that I have to look out at the world outside myself in order to get that approval, that validation. Codependency tells you that I have to make sure that other people like me in order for my life to mean something, in order for me to be worth it or worthy. Codependency tells you that I have to make everybody else happy and satisfied so that way they could be present to meet my needs. And that's a lie. That is a lie because for one, you don't have to make anybody happy in order to make yourself happy. You have to make yourself happy. And from that feeling of responsibility, self-responsibility, and personal accountability blossoms out a genuine desire to see other people happy, as opposed to you operating from a place of obligation. I have to do this in order to make them happy so that way I could be seen as a good person, or I have to do this. No. Because constantly seeking the approval of other people is not realistic. It's not realistic at all. You have all the skills necessary to make yourself happy. You don't need other people for your survival. And that's the lie we've been told also growing up, that we need other people to like us for our own survival. That's not true. You don't need that. Once again, that is a lie that you were told when you were younger, and maybe to a certain degree it was true when you were younger because you couldn't fend for yourself. You had to rely on your parents or your caregivers in order to take care of you, but you are an adult now. You don't have to rely on other people to make you happy, to get you fed, to get you working. You don't have to rely on people. What you have to rely on, for one, is your Heavenly Father and the ingenuity and talent that He created within you to get your needs met. You have to believe in yourself and trust, genuinely trust in your ability to get all your needs met. And that's the thing. That's the hardest thing to do when you were raised on a diet of codependency. When you fear abandonment from other people, you oftentimes find yourself conceding and doing things that you don't want to do in order to gain their approval because you are afraid that they will leave you. But the thing about it is you don't have to be afraid that somebody will leave you because you have you. The people that are valuable, the people that matter, they will always be in your life. They will always stick around. You know, the people who don't matter, the people that are pretending, the people who are unevolved, the people who lack awareness into how certain things affect you, you know, those are the people that won't last, and they don't matter. They don't matter. I realized that in 2023, I did a remarkable clearing. There were some people in my life who were not genuine. There were some people in my life who were not even, they weren't aware. And these weren't bad people. They just were not aware as to how their behaviors affected me, you know, making them dangerous to my healing and my growth. And that's the thing, when you prioritize your growth and your healing, you don't have time for the approval of other people. You don't have time for the opinions of other people, because your goal, your priority is to make sure that you are a whole person, a complete whole person that feels good about life, that is energetic. Anybody that threatens that goal has to go. Anybody that threatens the goal of your wholeness has to go. And it's just that simple. Is that an easy thing to do? No, it's not easy, but it's necessary. And it becomes easier when you start to really love yourself and prioritize yourself. It becomes easier when you start to realize that the people that you care so much about losing don't really care about losing you. It becomes so much easier, because if they did care about losing you, they would try to follow suit. They would try to match your healing journey. They would try to walk with you on your journey. They would try to do that. They don't want to lose you. They're going to do whatever it takes not to lose you. But some people are not ready, and that's fine. That is okay. You set them free, and you leave them to their journey, and you focus on your journey, because that's important. And that's when you love yourself. And I got to be honest, I'm really starting to love myself and really appreciate myself and really value what I bring to the table. And when you sit with yourself and you tell your story and you love yourself, you begin to realize that your approval is the only approval that matters. You begin to realize that you are a great person, and you deserve to feel good. You deserve to feel whole. And that is a wonderful feeling. So I encourage everyone out there, begin to love yourself. Begin to approve of yourself. Stop begging. Leave the begging energy in 2023. Leave it there. You know? You don't have to be desperate. You have to carry the spirit of desperation. Picture it. 2024. You are abundant. Around you is everything you need in order to live a successful, wonderful, fulfilled existence. How would you move from that space? How will you move from that space? And that's what you have to realize. How will I move from that space? And so once again, I encourage everybody to really just sit in that thought. If I had everything that I needed, how would I move? How would I move? I would move freely. I would move with love. I would move with gratitude. I would walk in that spirit. And so continue to walk in that spirit. You don't need people in order to survive. You don't need people in order to get your dreams off the ground. You need your love. You need yourself. And really just sit with that. Really just sit in that abundance. Just picture all the riches around you, all the riches that you have inside of you that are untapped. All that untapped potential just waiting to be unlocked. It's just waiting. It's there. It's there. But it requires the key of your own approval. Because everything's waiting for you. Your life is waiting for you. Your life is ringing, and it's ringing off the hook. Question is, will you answer? Will you answer? Answer. This is Lewis. Lewis Speaks, wishing everybody a 2024 full of blessings, prosperity, and abundance. Peace, y'all.